Welcome back to the second devlog for Project Triangle. This week we'll be setting up the player controller for the racing of the game. If you haven't checked out the last episode, I recommend you go check that out before watching this. But with that, let's go see what we've done this week. This week has had loads of ups and downs for me. I'm not someone who really works on making player controllers often. I think I maybe made one or two so far in my life. But trying to get this player movement to feel right and comfortable and easy to use for the player, I found extremely difficult this week. I think I spent a lot of time working on just getting the drifting to feel right, to feel kind of intuitive to the player to use. But so far we have all of these done now, so the player controller should be fully complete. I think there's some polishing that I need to do afterwards, but I'm going to save that for a couple of weeks away, so once we get everything working, it should be fine. So with that, let's go and see what we've done in Unity. So I'm going to start off by showing what I've actually been working on this week, and then afterwards I'm going to get a bit into the actual detail of how it works itself. So this is the current car controller that we got. We can move forward and we can brake, which gives us a faster descent than kind of just letting the car itself roll to an end. We can also move left and right, and we got the little details of the wheels moving and the steering wheel moving as we go around. We can then also start to go into a drift, so we can turn around corners faster. And then also when you exit a drift, you get a little boost, and this boost is determined by how long you hold on to the actual drift itself. So there's 3 different stages to drifting. The first is this kind of blue phase. When you've just pressed the button, you kind of enter this phase, and it kind of gives you like a little boost as you exit it, but there's kind of nothing more than that. Next we have this kind of purple phase, where if you hold the button for about 90 degrees from when you pressed it, you kind of get to this purple phase, and you kind of shoot out of it a bit more when you exit. And then finally we have this kind of pinky phase, where if you hold it for more than like 180 degrees, I think it is roughly, you can really kind of shoot out of it afterwards. While in the drift, you also have full control of the vehicle, so if I press drift now, I can actually keep the vehicle straight itself, or I can turn really sharply into a corner. And this kind of gives the player this kind of full control as to how fast and how steep they want to actually turn a corner itself. We also have particle effects for the drifting itself, so that each stage has its own particle, and you kind of get this like nice little ring that kind of shows that you kind of transition between different drift stages. And it kind of that visual feedback to the player itself, so they kind of know what's going on. I might change this a bit later. I kind of think like it's a little thick at the moment. But maybe when I get around to polishing it again in a couple of weeks time, I might just change it to make them a little thinner, and might pretty up a little bit more that way. But if you have any suggestions on how to improve the looks of this, maybe you can go post them down below in the comments, and that'll be really helpful. So now I kind of want to talk about how it actually works itself. So there's kind of 2 different layers to this. There's kind of the model layer, which is kind of what you see, and there's actually a physics layer, which is actually how the car itself moves. So this whole thing is actually working on a sphere that rotates and moves around with forces, and then the position of the actual model is then updated, the position of the sphere, and then rotated based upon the actual direction that you're heading in. And so in play mode it kind of looks like this. We have this sphere and we add force to the sphere itself, and it starts to kind of move around and rotate, and then the car's position is updated to the position of the sphere, and then we kind of start rotating around, and the sphere will start to rotate, and that's kind of how the whole movement for the actual card itself works. And so that's pretty much what I've been working on all week, is just trying to get this player controller set up properly and to work the way I want it to work, and I'm kind of happy with how it's turned out so far. Looking forward to next week. Kind of want to get the game into a playable state by the end of the week, get some nice kind of like menu UI into the actual track building section of the game, as well as importing and exporting maps, and then we can hopefully be able to actually drive around the tracks themselves by the end of the week. I think that was a good goal to get done. And with that, I want to thank you guys for watching. If you liked the video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. If you want to stay notified for my next upload, hit the subscribe button. Otherwise, I'll catch you next week.